He is one of Jamaica's most notorious politicians, known for speaking his mind or just speaking anything that comes to it, flipping off the media, and somewhat of a daggering master. He has dedicated over 40 years of his life to politics, and it seems like this is the end of his political career, or could it just mean the start of a new era for him? This is Everald Warmington, a 72-year-old Jamaican politician with the Jamaica Labour Party. In this video, we'll look at the rise and impending fall of Everald Warmington. Clifford Everald Warmington was born in Brownsall, St. Catherine. He did his early education at Brownsall All-Age School and St. Andrew Technical High School before going on to the College of Arts, Science and Technology, today known as the University of Technology. He became involved in politics early on in his life as the Vice President of Young Jamaica and the Vice President of the Student Council at CAS from 1974 to 1978 before migrating in the 1980s to the United States. At age 28, Warmington entered the world of representational politics and has been a sure bet for the JLP in terms of his winnability, losing only once in 1997 upon his return from the United States. During the 2007 elections, he competed against Dennis Jones of the People's National Party and secured victory with a significant margin, tallying 10,488 votes compared to Jones' 7,244. However, in February 2011, it was revealed that Warmington had held U.S. citizenship during his 2007 nomination, rendering him constitutionally ineligible for his parliamentary seat. This disclosure was part of a broader scandal involving multiple Jamaican MPs, including figures from both the JLP and the PNP. Despite renouncing his US citizenship afterward, Warmington resigned on March 8, 2011, triggering a by-election set for April 4, which he contested unopposed due to a truce between both political parties. Shortly after his resignation, he stirred up controversy by telling a CVM TV anchorwoman to go to hell during a live broadcast after he was asked if it was unethical for him to be a member of parliament, being that he had not renounced his citizenship. His statement drew condemnation from international media organizations and local women's groups urging Bruce Colin not to allow Warmington to participate in the upcoming by-election. Nevertheless, he reclaimed his seat in the by-election, though without being reinstated as State Minister for Water and Housing by Golding. In the general elections held in December of the same year, Warmington faced a tougher challenge. Changes in electoral boundaries in 2010 were anticipated to diminish his re-election prospects, particularly with the removal of JLP strongholds like the Sinidam Division and parts of the Church Pen Division. Despite internal disagreements within the PNP regarding the best candidate to challenge him, Warmington emerged victorious against caretaker candidate Anthony Eubanks, though with a narrower margin compared to his previous win. In 2010, Everald Warmington was implicated in a major probe undertaken by the Office of the Contractor General into the award of certain contracts at the St. Catherine Parish Council. The probe conducted by the Contractor General stemmed from allegations of impropriety and irregularity in the award of multi-million-dollar contracts to Stratheran Construction Company, a construction firm that is allegedly owned by Warmington. The Contractor General said a preliminary probe unearthed information suggesting that the bulk of government contracts issued by the St. Catherine Parish Council were awarded to Stratheran Construction Company and that the award of certain contracts were issued by the St. Catherine Parish Council to Stratheran might have been influenced by Warmington. After more than a year of the Contractor General probing the issuance of several public contracts to Stratheran Construction Company Limited, the Office of the Contractor General on September 2011 revealed the investigation was complete and it had uncovered evidence of breach of duty or misconduct or criminal offense. As a result, the Contractor General sent copies of the report to the Police Commissioner, the Director of Public Prosecution, the Attorney General, and the Secretary Manager of the Integrity Commission. Warmington responded angrily to the accusations, calling Contractor General Greg Christie an overzealous idiot and a mental case. When contacted by the Jamaica Gleaner on the matter, Warmington said, "I have never been a shareholder. I was a director up until 2007 and I am no longer director, and that still stands." He also said Christie is always coming up with some nonsense. I am not surprised at him. That is a characteristic of the person. Warmington also said that he's above all things named corruption. He said he can speak his mind at all times because he is so outspoken and always makes sure that his hands are always clean. In January 2013, DPP Paula Llewellyn revealed that her office would not prefer criminal charges against Warmington after the Office of the Contractor General had referred Warmington to the DPP for criminal prosecution in August 2010, alleging that the MP might have committed an offense under the Pre-Jury Act. Llewellyn said that without more, there was insufficient evidentiary material at the time which could form the basis of criminal proceedings against Warmington for the offences of perjury and breach of Section 29 of the Contractor General's Act at the requisite standard of proof in the criminal law, which was proof beyond a reasonable doubt. The DPP also indicated that no charges would be brought against the directors of SCCL, Lloyd Grant, Howard Chavez, Sylvain Foster, Leslie Henry, and Nicole Warmington. Llewellyn said that Warmington had maintained that he did not have a financial interest in SCCL. She said her office examined documentary exhibits 50 and 51. The former was a letter dated October 24, 2006, which was submitted to the Bank of Nova Scotia and purported to be signed by Clifford E. Warmington and Nicole Warmington. After examining the mentioned exhibits, the DPP said her office found that Chavez and Grant were the signatories. Mayor Chavez and Grant had admitted to the OCG that they are signatories to Exhibits 50 and 51 and that they made false representations to the Bank of Nova Scotia concerning Mr. Clifford E. Warmington's financial interest in SCCL. These admissions could not be considered as willfully misleading the OCG. The entity which was willfully misled was the Bank of Nova Scotia, and that by itself, without more, is not a criminal offence unless it was part and parcel of a larger scheme to defraud, the DPP stated. Just a day after his harsh critique of Christie in 2010, Warmington said his characterization of the Contractor General as an overzealous idiot and a mental case were disrespectful and inappropriate, and he unreservedly withdrew the comments. But after the DPP's ruling, Warmington appeared to have another change of heart. He withdrew his early apology to Christie and repeated his description of Christie as a mental case for emphasis. Now let's talk about the dispute he has had with his party, the JLP. Throughout his 4 decades as a member of the JLP, Warmington has been involved in several prominent public disagreements with his party. In 2006, he resigned from his position as chairman of the JLP's Area Council 2, accusing the JLP leadership of disregarding the party's constitution. In November 2012, he voiced his concerns about irregularities in the nomination process of party leadership roles and took steps to address it by filing an injunction application in the Supreme Court. However, he ultimately withdrew the application shortly before the scheduled hearing. He explained in subsequent media interviews that he did so based on assurances from senior party figures that the election would not proceed. Despite this, the JLP proceeded with the election as planned, prompting Warmington to persist in his public criticism of the situation. In 2016, Everald Warmington twice referred to PNP member Lisa Hanna as a Jezebel during the sitting of the House of Representatives, prompting her colleagues to rush to her defense. Warmington made the remarks as the members considered a resolution to increase the minimum wage. The first comment by Lisa Hanna was ignored, but Warmington wasted no time in throwing the insults back at Hanna. Government MPs Luther Buchanan, Michael Phillips and Richard Parchment at the time protested and said it shows his disrespect for women. Acting House Leader Natalie Nita Headley at the time rose on a point of order, bringing the matter to the attention of Speaker Lloyd B. Simmet. Warmington agreed to withdraw the remarks on the invitation of Simmet, but decided to engage in a testy crosstalk with Parchment and Phillips, who he referred to as garbage, saying, "If it weren't for politics, a lowlife like you couldn't talk to me." When Simmet told Warmington that he was being warned for the last time, he stormed from the house asking, "A 1 years you have?" Everald Warmington would later issue a statement declaring that he said nothing wrong when he called Lisa Hanna a Jezebel while in Parliament. He said he did not invent the word Jezebel, it came from the Bible and it aptly describes Lisa Hanna's behavior. He said her disrespect and rudeness was why he asked the acting speaker if he could only hear from the left ear, as he seemed only to have heard what he, Warmington, said and ignore all that was coming from the PNP side. During another contentious incident, Warmington was recorded in a phone conversation with reporter Sashana Small of Business Access TV in 2018. Small had reached out to gather Warmington's response to a strike staged by workers on road projects conducted by the China Harbor Engineering Company, Czech. Warmington's response was blunt. "Don't call me and ask me damn nonsense. Get off my phone," before abruptly ending the call. Backtrack to 2015, Warmington was at it again. While arriving at a meeting at JLP headquarters at Belmont Road, he objected to his photograph being taken and used his notebook to hit a female Gleaner intern's camera. He then embarked on an expletive-laden tirade directed at another journalist. He later apologized to the intern, but less than a week later, he was back to his old self, again on the grounds of the JLP headquarters, as he repeatedly showed his middle finger to journalists who were taking his picture. He did so twice while in his SUV, as well after alighting from the vehicle. Fast forward to 2024, and Everald Warmington has resigned as Minister without Portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation in the wake of comments that he made about public funds which caused public outrage. Speaking to JLP supporters following the recent local government elections, Warmington had stated, "I am the Minister of Works, I am the Member of Parliament, no PMP councillor going to spend my money." At the same time, Warmington said that the JLP's losing candidate Lloyd Grant might not be councillor, but he will spend every dime. Warmington later issued a statement saying that his comments have been misunderstood. He also said he was withdrawing the statements and apologized to Jamaicans. The opposition PMP had called for Warmington to be fired from the cabinet. Following the public backlash, Prime Minister Andrew Holness revealed that he met with Warmington, and at the end of the meeting, he received Warmington's resignation. Holness said he thanked him for his service in that capacity, and Minister Warmington expressed his gratitude for the opportunity to serve. However, in recent interviews, Warmington said he did not resign, but was fired by Prime Minister Andrew Holness. Now, is this the end of Warmington's political career? Well, this marks the third time he's resigned from his position in his party, and we have seen him return before. So who knows, we might just witness the return and rise of Warmington in the very near future.